Today we'll be breaking down the full creative system for scaling Facebook ads to over $10,000 a day in revenue. We've used this system not just for 10K days, but all the way up to the most we've ever done, which was over $250,000 in a single day. This is not just the system in terms of research and come up with ideas. We're also gonna be diving into team structure, team hiring, the actual process of managing ad concepts. And I'm also going to be giving you guys a free tool today that y'all have been pretty much all have been asking for an extremely long time. So with that being said, let's dive into probably one of the most valuable videos I've dropped in a very long time. So let's dive into it. So as mentioned, we've used this system over the course of the last couple of years now that's just helped a ton of brands scale to multi seven figures a month to 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a day in revenue. And to actually build out this whole system, we're going to start off first with our team structure, because there's no way in hell you're scaling to these crazy numbers and you're doing everything yourself. So first thing we'll dive into what team members you need specifically. The three biggest ones, or at least the two biggest ones starting off, is going to be your copywriter and your visual creator. Your copywriter is the person that's actually writing all the creative scripts, landing page copy, product page copy, actual like ad copy on the like primary text and headlines, pretty much anywhere in the funnel that words are needed to create things. That's what the copywriter's doing. Then we have the visual creator next. This person's just responsible for all the videos and photos you see, editing those things out, all those good things. You have your media buyer, which to be fair today is just the person that uploads ads in the account and then either decreases or increases ad spend. And then a new position that, to be fair, I didn't really hit on in this training much, but it is a new position that I've been looking a little bit more into lately, and that's a funnel integrator. And basically this particular person, all they do is basically go and build out the landing pages that my copywriter designs. So let's dive into each of these positions, what they do, and responsibilities as a whole. So copywriter, again, is gonna be doing all of the research. I have videos on this channel going over market research and stuff, but they do all the research to come up with ad ideas. And then once they come up with those ad ideas, they actually go create those. Now, when I say they go create them, they're not actually sitting there in Adobe Photoshop or After Effects. All they're doing is writing out the scripts of like what they want the visuals, and then what the visuals are saying. So like if you see a photo ad and it sees a big like creative headline on it, and then they show visuals, the creative headline comes from the copywriter. The video ad, if it's like a UGC video, for example, everything that creator says, the copywriter writes. It's called creative script. And again, copywriters gonna do all that. You get those ideas from research and you execute on them. Also too, for landing pages, if you're doing listicles, advertorials, even VSL scripts, all of that is done via the copywriter. So the copywriter handles all that. And then also the copywriter hires and works with content creators if it's needed for the specific project. And we'll go a little bit more into that as well. Now, the next thing is the visual creator. Visual creator pretty much receives the ads from the copywriter and goes edit those things. And that's it. I mean, that's all they do. They take in the briefs from the copywriter and they go edit that content. And then the media buyer simply uploads the ads, manages the current ads right now that's live, scales budgets or decreases budget depending on performance, and then like runs numbers to make sure like we're going to hit our targets that we need to hit. Now, the funnel integrator, all this person does is takes the copy and the visuals from the designer and puts them into, like, we use Funnelist, for example, to build out all of our landing pages. So like the copywriter will write like, 5 reasons why listicle. The visual designer will look at that, come up with the images that need to go in that listicle, and then both of those assets will be given to the funnel integrator, which will then go put all that on that page and then ship that off to the copywriter for review before it gets sent over to our media buyer to test. Now, let's go into hiring. You know what the team structure looks like. let's go deeper into actually how to hire these people. So the first thing you have to look at is, who should you hire first? Basically, this is the thought process to think about, which is like the very first person is things you're not good at and things you hate doing. So like for me, this was my visual creator, and probably 90% of y'all, the visual creator is the first person you should hire out. It's the person that's skilled in Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere, can design all those things, like all of those things like that. Then things you hate doing, but you're good at. Like, I'm good at media buying, but I hate doing it. I hate sitting there and just waiting for a fucking ad to upload. I hate sitting there and like managing the account every day. I just have way better use of my time. Then it's like things you're good at and enjoy, but can easily be replaced. That's like copywriting for me. Like, I'm very good at it, but like, you know, I just like, I don't know. Like, I can be replaced. And then you have things you love and irreplaceable. That's like overall strategy for me that I like looking into. So here, let's look at places to hire these people. I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn hiring. LinkedIn hiring is probably my number one place. Onlinejobs.ph, super popular. I just personally haven't used it. Freelancer, Upwork, hire on there, and then take them off platform. And then just literally go on Twitter and you can search and just type in video editor or copywriter, and you get a whole bunch of profiles that have those words in their bio, and reach out to those people. Now, our hiring process we follow is simple. Application, qualification question, 10 to 15 minute call, sample project, 30-day pay trial, and then performance reviews every quarter. And we're gonna be going specifically into all of these and what that process looks like. We'll do the copywriter for today in terms of like how I did that. So I posted this particular job application on LinkedIn hiring. We got 47 applicants. Did hire one person from this. That was amazing. But the key thing I want you to understand here, oh, Nick, you're a YouTuber, you have a big social following, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna get a bunch of applicants. That's all fucking false. When you do LinkedIn hiring, it's pretty mutual of like everyone gets the same like pool of people. The only thing here is that like you can pay LinkedIn to boost your application if you want. And I did the free application here. You got 47 applicants within like a week. So be very clear on that. Here's the exact job description I used. Y'all more than welcome to screenshot this and copy this. I'm not going to go deep into this, but just basically going and giving a very accurate representation of what we're looking for, expectations, and what I need them to do. Now, from here, I basically went ahead and I had those 47 applicants, and I just simply messaged them just a quick qualification question, which is just basically me asking them the same thing again that they applied for, which was just like, hey, do you have experience writing Facebook ad scripts? Like, I just want to double check before we hop on a call. Out of all those people, I got quite a few people to reply. And then I basically hopped on a call with the people that are like, hey, this is actually interesting. Like, I would love to hop on a call with you. Now, the initial call, the very first thing I'm looking for is the vibe check. Do I vibe with this person? I can't really accurately put that in what that is. It's just like, hey, like, I actually enjoy talking to this person. This person's cool. He's not like a fucking nerd or like this just like very awkward person. Like, I actually enjoy talking to him. I actually look forward to hopping on another call with them. That's going to be purely based off your personality and what personalities of people you get along with. Everyone will be different. There'll be someone I'm like, yo, I can't stand that person. And there'll be another person that y'all are like, I love that person. And that's totally okay. That's why I just said it's a vibe check. If I don't look forward to talking to you again, I'm not going to hire you. It makes no sense, because as a team, we need to be like cool and like mesh in well together. That's how we can be effective together. So that's the very first thing I'm looking for on this initial call. Now, background check. Look, they applied, they put this all this experience and stuff, but like, I just want to re-ask the question, like, what experience do you have specifically doing the tasks that I need done? Problem solving. I love hearing about wins. I love hearing about how you made this client all kinds of money, but I also want to know when you were stuck, when you couldn't figure out what to do next, how did you solve that problem? That's what I really want to understand. I want to see if you have some form of problem solving ability versus just like sitting there and messaging me every day. Then we go into little things like pay expectations, time expectations. So like, how much money they want to get paid, time expectations of like, hey, am I looking for someone for 10 hours a week? Am I looking for someone for 20 hours a week? Am I looking for someone 40 hours a week? Just be honest with them. If you know for a fact, hey, I only need someone for 10 hours a week, tell them that. And if they're looking for 40 hours a week, then cool. Like, I'm not going to hire you. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't cliche together. It doesn't click. So that's all I'm looking for. Next one is long-term goals, right? Like, I understand if you just want to hire someone for a short-term perspective of like maybe 3 months. But like, if you're looking for someone for the next couple years and that particular person wants to like venture off in a couple years to like do something completely different, then like it doesn't make any sense. I also like to look at it from like back in high school when I had a job at like a gym and like I was the front desk worker and stuff like that. Like that gym was hiring me with the expectations of knowing, hey, this is a high school kid and like he'll go to college and then like he's gonna go into another career. So like there's expectations right there of this being like this person won't be here for like years the rest of their life. They're only gonna be here for a short-term period of time. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Does our long-term goals match together? And the last thing is, if all of this clicks off, would they be willing to do a free sample project? This is super important for me right here, where the sample project is essentially just basically a sample project. Here's something I want you to do. Max 30 minutes is free and allows me to get a vibe check of, not a vibe check, but just a quality check of the type of work they get. Now, sample project, just to dive into this, for copywriters, I'll just send them over my product page and ask them to create a 30 to 60 second Facebook video script. I'm not telling them anything else. I'm not telling them what angles worked or stuff like that. That's their goal, to go do a little bit of research, come up with an idea and write out that script. And that way I can see their copywriting. If it looks like they copied and pasted from ChatGPT, I'm not fucking hiring them. There was people I did this with and it literally, you could see the same ChatGPT formatting of the like long dashes, the brackets and everything like that. And I was just like, this is fucking ChatGPT. I'm not hiring you. Like, at least clean it up. I'm okay with copywriters using ChatGPT. I encourage them to use ChatGPT, but don't submit me something that's copy and pasted from ChatGPT without your review and final edit. That's what I don't want. Now, visual creators here, I just simply want them to create me a 15 to 30 second video ad. I'm gonna send them over the script and I'm gonna send them over my product page and I'm gonna send them all the content for them to use. This is another thing. I remember talking to a student, the student was pissed and like about to fire his visual creator. I'm like, why? They're like, because they keep using the same clips. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let's pop open the content bin you give them. Pop open the content bin. There's like 5 videos in there. I'm like, what the fuck do you want the visual creator to use when you only gave them the same 5 videos? And they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, so why are you pissed at them? They're like, well, yeah, I guess you're right. So then I encourage the students to go hire a bunch of UGC creators to film content for him, to now get his visual creator to start pumping out more content. So it's like, for this, you need to make sure your visual creator is supplied the content to use. Do not expect your visual creator to go out online and hire UGC creators and like film a bunch of content, because that's not what a visual creator is good at. A visual creator is good at, here's all the content, now let me edit. That's what a visual creator is good at. Hire the best. Ideally, I want to basically go and get about 5 to 6 sample projects done before I hire. Ideally, I'm hiring the top talent that meet all of the expectations on pay, time. I vibe with them. They're cool people. I'm gonna hire however many people I need from that batch. Now, I talked a lot about visual creators and copywriters, but I didn't really hit on media buyers. And media buyers, I actually have quite a different approach to media buying. Media buying, I've trained up 3 people on my team now from scratch, and all 3 are media buyers. They had 0 experience with anything related to marketing prior, and now they're killers at media buying. Why? Because a lot of media buyers have a bunch of like fucked up habits they've learned over the years, And like, I don't have time to sit there and debate with a media buyer on here's why we should go broad targeting single campaign versus 30 campaigns, bid caps, and all this bullshit. So for me, I personally prefer to hire people with very little experience with media buying, give them my trainings, and only follow my trainings. That's what I personally prefer. Now, with that being said, you're more than welcome to have your own like differences on that. This is just what I personally prefer because I have good trainings around this already. I don't have any trainings realistically on visual creators because that's just not my expertise. And copywriting, I do have a lot of trainings on copywriting, but I still prefer to hire a very good copywriter because I personally love copywriting and like doing most of the copywriting. So for me, it's like I rarely hire copywriters for my business unless they're substantially better than me. Now, here I do a 30-day paid trial. Key thing with this paid trial is that it's not like it's free or anything like that. I'm not paying them less. They're getting paid their normal rate that we agreed on. It's just a mutual understanding that after 30 days, we both can take a step back, analyze the relationship, and decide if this is something we want to commit to a longer term basis. Now, even with a longer term basis, I can still fire someone at any given time. It's just more of like, hey, this 30 days, we're going to be working very closely together. We're going to be very like analytical of everything we do to make sure that like there's a very deep level of, just like, hey, like you're actually a solid fucking team member that we can scale up with. So after the 30 days, basically review performance, and then we'll look at setting up quarterly reviews and all those good things. Hire slow, fire fast. I've made so many hiring mistakes. I've been self-employed for 10 years now. I ran a whole nother business, an actual physical detailing business that hired probably close to a dozen people over the course of 4 years. And I probably hired close to 20 people now for my agency over the last 4 years. And I've made every mistake under the book. And probably one of the biggest ones that I've possibly learned from was hire slow, fire fast. I let team members who needed to be fired stay on way too long, and I hired way too fast without taking a step back, getting a good amount of applicants before I made my hire. I can't tell you how many times I hired someone really quickly out of desperation, and then like a week later, a significantly better candidate came in, and it was just like, well, fuck, I already committed to this person for 30 days. And then like it just never worked out after. So take your time. If you are not happy with the applicants you get, don't just hire the worst best one. Take your time, get more applicants, and really find that person so that way you can actually commit to them for a long period of time. Now, let's go into pay and experience expectations. Go a little bit deeper into that. So copywriter, typically on average, I'm paying them about $50 an hour in USA. I like all my copywriters in USA. That's just my personal preference because they're doing a lot of client facing stuff. And also too, like I need to make sure they know English because most of our clients are English. Yeah, so I only hire from USA for copywriters. That's my one thing. And then the next thing from there, like breakthrough advertising is a must for me. Like they need to understand that because I developed all my trainings around that. Ideally, like just because of the level of clients we work with and because of just my personal level and experience of copywriting, they need to be writing for at least 3 to 4 years to be slightly better than me or like close to my level. And then lastly, like I want to already have seen them write winning ads in other niches and my niche and stuff like that. Now, visual creator, this is the one position I'll hire from anywhere. I'm not worried about this. I have visual creators in literally almost every fucking like country that's third world. And that's just because like no preference. I've just found the best like quality of work outside of the USA for like around that price tag. I'm not really worried about experience for this in terms of like, how many years. I just have noticed 2 to 3 years to be the biggest one when it comes down to like motion graphics and After Effects and like 3D modeling and all that stuff, typically around that 2 to 3 years in is where they have a decent enough understanding to make things look good. Now, media buyers, I only hire within the USA for media buyers. And again, client facing, need them to be very fluent in English. Yeah, and that's just purely from like, we work with a lot of USA clients. Now, next thing we're gonna dive into is company culture. So we kind of went over the team structure, the hiring process, pay and expectations. So now let's look at actually culture itself, because that's really big. I'm not gonna go super deep on this. It's not a whole video on culture, but it's just enough to be like, okay, hey, like these are key things you need to understand. I like to look at culture as what is willing to be accepted and celebrated. This is huge for me. So like, for example, we like making money. That's a big one. All of my team members get bonuses and stuff like that when clients make more money. So like everyone is incentivized to make more money. Making more money celebrated in my agency and stuff. Like that's really cool. You know, it's fun. It's awesome. It helps you have a much better quality of life. So like for people who don't like celebrating making more money, for people who don't like talking about money, not the place to be. Next thing is that, well, technically this is already one we call. Now, that's like things we celebrate. Here's things we don't accept. And one thing we do not accept anymore, because again, I made this mistake before, is that B and C players will kill a company. It will destroy a company. We do not like B and C players anymore. Fuck B and C and players. We don't do that. So B and C players, they're gonna need more people to manage them. This is where like you have to hire managers on top of managers, because like B and C players, they constantly need someone watching them and managing their work and stuff like that. B and C players will bring down A players. B and C players will go into work and complain about random bullshit. They're just not gonna be like, hell yeah, like let's tackle the day. They're gonna be like kind of mopey and stuff like that. They're not really gonna be like striving to learn more. They're gonna be talking about like fantasy football and stuff all in the middle of like work, and like while everyone's trying to talk about how to make better ads, like just completely irrelevant shit. B and C players will also take up all your time. B and C players, they're gonna need, like I said, they're gonna need more people to manage them. They're gonna need you to spend a lot more time working with them one-on-one to train them up and stuff like that. You'll train them up, but like they still won't like get the trainings as quick as A players. So you just have to spend a lot more time with them, which also costs a lot more money. Now, what makes an A player? Because A players, we only want to hire A players. These are driven people. They're consistently there to learn and improve. All of my team members are obsessed with learning about marketing, advertising. They're always looking for like different programs I can buy for them and invest into them and stuff like that, to where they can continue keep learning and growing as an advertiser. Problem solving. They figure out problems before coming to me. A B and C player would be like, hey, I have this problem. And I'm like, okay, what have you tried so far to fix this problem? They're like, nothing. I'm like, why the fuck did you come with me this problem if you haven't already tried fixing it? Like, I don't know. That's a B and C player. An A player would be like, hey, Nick, I've been struggling with this problem the last couple of days. Here's everything I've tried. Do you have any like additional food for thought, or maybe things I could do a little bit differently to fix it? You see right there? They already went try to fix the problem before they came to you. That's an A player right there. Knowledge. A players are always going to typically be better than you. And when I say better than you, like they're already going to know more about something than you. So like for me, that's why it's hard for me to hire copywriters, because I have so much experience that like I'm coaching for like the top 1% of copywriters. So like if I hire a copywriter now, they have to know more than me. I refuse to hire someone or even mentor someone like work for free type shit who doesn't know, like who knows less than me, because it just makes no sense. Consistent. A players are super consistent. They show up every day. They want to be there. All of those good things. Coachable. You know, like people who are B and C players, they feel like they know everything, so they don't need to invest in themselves anymore. An A player knows significantly more, but still acts like he doesn't know anything. And it allows them to consistently be coachable. Self-starters, A players will literally go just hit the ground running and are willing to accept imperfect action Whereas B and C players will sit there and overthink about the perfect action and take weeks to take action. Whereas self-starters will just fucking roll. They don't need their hands held. Communication. A players are really good at communication, setting expectations, all of those good things. I don't have to sit there and try to pull an answer out of them. And then feedback. Feedback is also really important. I can give feedback to an A player and they're not gonna like go cry and like be emotional the next couple of days. Whereas a B and C player, they'll get feedback and they'll feel like people are trying to attack them and everyone's against them. And like they start to feel unsafe at workplace. And like, again, just giving them feedback from their work of what they can improve, not trying to attack them or anything like that. There is acceptable and not acceptable ways to get feedback, but given acceptable feedback, they will not like it and running a cry about it. So that's a B and C player as well. And obviously, B and C players, I already talked a lot about it, but yeah, that's B and C players. All right, so here's how to actually mesh this whole team together and the exact systems we use to keep everyone working together without like running around with their chicken head, without running around clueless all day. So first off, just kind of like starting with the full kind of flow of everything. Our CW, which CW equals copywriter, VC equals visual creator, and then MB equals media buyer. So just for record here, copywriter reviews performance, then reviews the ad account, does their research, comes up with idea, writes the idea, then sends that idea to the VC, the visual creator. The visual creator creates the idea. VC sends back to the copywriter for review. And then the copywriter sends that to the MB to get live. MB gets live and runs for 7 days. And then the MB records data. Now we're gonna be breaking down this full system and showing you all the software we use to keep all of these people working simultaneously together. So as far as reviewing performance, the copywriter just pops open Triple. We're pretty like clear with the full team on what KPIs we need to be hitting. So like everyone should know those KPIs at any given time. Now, next thing, as far as reviewing the performance, it's very straightforward. Are we hitting our target KPI to where we can scale? Yes or no? No? Okay, cool. Like we really need to fix something here. Yes? All right, amazing. Keep bumping out fresh stuff though. Next thing, what we'll do is we'll just go and have the copywriter. Yes, copywriter gets access to the ad account and is shown specifically how to go into a campaign and look at the ads last 7 days. I'm very transparent on my YouTube channel. I do one campaign per business objective. So a lot of our ad accounts have only a couple campaigns in the account. This particular ad account only has one campaign because we only have one objective right now in this account. In this particular account right here, I click on the campaign. I do not select any ad sets. And then I click on ads for one campaign to see all the ads within that campaign without the ad set filter on it. And then from there, I click on amount spent. I literally click it and it sorts it from highest spending to lowest spending. And then I look at the last 7 days. So I can see the last 7 days, what's going on in this ad account. And then here, I basically just ask myself, what does the ad account need right now? So just giving you two different examples right here. We have a lot of high spending ads with low seek frequency, but high CPA. Can we add in more lower funnel creatives to increase conversions? Or can we iterate off the high spending ads to improve? That's one just scenario and hypothesis that I might create. Another example, we have a lot of lower funnel ads in the ad account crushing in right now, but we're struggling to break a certain spin barrier. Can we add in more higher funnel ads to reach more people and get more people in our funnel to convert? So just two different examples right there. Then from there, my copywriter would go do the necessary research needed to basically go ahead and support, or not support the hypothesis, but to be able to go execute on that hypothesis. I have a full 2.5 hour long video literally called Research Strategy to Scale Facebook Ads to 10K plus days. And I break that down. So I'm not going to do that in this video, or this video will be like 4 hours long, but there you go. Now, from there, the copywriter comes up with ideas. So for example, in this scenario right here, we have a lot of lower funnel ads in the ad account crushing, but struggling to break spin barrier. Can we add in more higher funnel ads to reach more people and get more people in our funnel to convert? So here, just doing a little research, we found this comment basically talking about PCOS. We never hit on PCOS before. PCOS is a huge market. So now we can go and create our creative hook for our script, basically for PCOS. And then that's our hypothesis of, hey, this is going to give us more people now we can reach to put more people in our funnel to help improve performance. PCOS is a large market. Our product is a great solution for PCOS, etc. And then from here, we put all of our ideas in the creative roadmap. This is a sheet that dozens of people have stolen from me now and actually put on their channels, YouTube channels, and given away in communities and stuff. But I've been using this sheet now back since 2021, 2022. And I've given it all to my inner circle students now. And even some of those students have gone and shared it online and everything like that. So due to that, I'm, for the very first time ever, going to be giving y'all this sheet, and not just this sheet, the full doc, Google Doc right here, that comes with like a dozen different sheets for various different things in the business. So literally just click the link below to get this particular sheet right here to help you guys out with that. But basically here we go and we log the hypothesis and stuff. So the creative hook we want to use, the persona we want to go after, the desire we want to go after, awareness, sophistication. What are we creating? Is this going to be a video? Is this going to be a photo? And then what does this give? Like what does this give you confidence that's going to improve overall performance? And then we basically go and log our hypothesis. And then from there, we actually go and write that thing. So I like to create another Google Doc. So this was a Google Sheet. Then I like to also use a Google Doc here where I log all of my different ads I write. And you'll see how I create this. But research tab is just literally all my research. Ad ideas, I'll show you that in a second. Customer avatar, I only do this right here if, and let me be very clear, if I have post-purchase survey data of like 200 or more responses, I can build a customer avatar. If I don't have that, then I'm just using my research doc. So let me be very clear on that. Product info, I actually don't really use this anymore because now I can literally just give ChatGPT the URL for my product. But yeah, and then landing pages is the same thing as ad ideas, where every ad idea I want to write is numbered based off this doc right here for the batch number. You'll notice the batch number right here is going to be seen a ton in my process because that's how I label everything. So here, ad idea, go and type out that ad idea, boom, 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 boom. So, here's my creative hook. If you're a woman over 35 and you suddenly found yourself fighting a losing battle with your own body, that's going to be my hook. The hook is always going to be the first line of your script. If this was a photo ad right here, it'd just be a hook. And that's it. Here, I have the full script. I'm not showing y'all the full script intentionally because I don't want y'all seeing the product and stuff, but y'all seeing the first half right here. And then basically, again, I don't know why I have this twice, but they'll go write that idea out. And then from here, we'll go and take this doc right here, this particular script, and we're going to send it over to my VC. Now, for the VC specifically, this is my visual creator itself. We use Asana for everything, for communication of team members in terms of like project management and stuff like that. So what I'll do here is the copywriter, and you can actually see this is my Asana board right here. I just created to do doing ready to launch, post launch, complete it. And then this is an Asana board right here for one of my clients. And then each task is an ad right there. So like 146 right here, that's going to be like this right here. Boom. So you see 104, 105, like all of these is just each an ad script right there. And then what we'll do is my copywriter will go and assign this to my visual creator. And then they set a due date. So realistically, I always tell them to do a due date of about 7 days. So that way, every 7 days, we have 2 ads coming in. And then the status is creative production. So I'll show you all the status here in a second. And in the description, I'm literally just copying the URL to this ad right here, and I'm just giving it to them, and that's it. So assigned to my VC, the number right here, it's just my ad idea that's corresponded to 2 different docs. And then the name, Broken Hormone Hack, I usually just tell them to just use the hook as like the name and stuff like that. Now, here's just all my custom, what I would say custom statuses. So creative production, creative review, revisions needed. That's terrible. Body copy production, ready for final approval. Look, to be fair, the only ones I use are creative production, creative review, or revisions needed, ready for launch, and launched in testing. All of these other ones I have not used. I created them and I just never removed them. So just be very clear on that. Now, once my visual creator is done creating the creatives, they send back to my copywriter for review. Because I'm the copywriter for this particular client project, they assigned it back to me for creative review, and then I basically go ahead and review it. Now, the visual creator is instructed to basically go ahead and upload all this to frame.io, which allows me to go ahead and inside of Frame, I have a project folder for every single creative batch. And then each project folder has anywhere between 3 to 40 creatives in it, just depending on what we're looking for at that given moment. This right here, this 201, this was a brand new ad idea we were testing. So it's the same video done 3 times with different visual hooks. Or actually, yeah, I'm not sure 100% what this one is because they each have a different timestamp. But for the most part, when we're testing a new idea, it's going to be the same video 3 times, each with a different visual hook, and that's it. So they're all the same length, same script, all that, just a different visual hook in the beginning. Now, from here, just some other keynotes. So I already talked about the same script with visual hook. Photos are exactly the same thing. So same creative hook on all 3 photos, same kind of design on all 3 photos, just slightly different visuals on each photo. Now, if I'm doing iterations or variations, I'll literally have anywhere between 3 to even up to 40 images or videos per batch. And again, a batch is these numbers, 101, 102. So batch. So just keeping that in mind right there, per batch. And the reason why I do more on the iterations and variations is because that's a winning ad. And now I have confidence to put more energy and effort to creating more ads like it because I know it works. You see, whereas ideas, I don't really have, like, I have confidence from research, but like, I don't want to go create 40 videos around a new idea when I haven't tested that before. So I want to start small and then scale up my creative production based off of what works. Now, next thing, like, for example, this creative script right here, let me go back to it. This creative script right here, like, I'm not sending that to a UGC creator. I am sending that to my visual creator. We do not have a UGC video of someone saying that voiceover. So what I'm going to do here is my visual creator is trained to where if we don't have a UGC video of someone saying that, they go to 11 Labs and either do a male or a female voice. And in the whole video, they just take B-roll or random clips from my full Google Drive folder of raw content. So just be very clear there on like why I'm just giving them a script but nothing else. Now, what about UGC? What happens when we want to do UGC in the mix? So in this particular instance right here, my copywriter is trained for UGC. So, and the reason why, I'm very clear here, the reason why is because my copywriter is doing all the research, coming up with the ideas. So like, for example, for one of our clients, like copywriter might do all the research and they're like, you know, I think it would be really cool if we put a female creator in very little clothing that's very attractive in front of this audience because that's just what they like. And then sure enough, they went hire that creator, they launched it, and that creator helped us scale to 10K a day. So why the fuck would I give anyone else the job to hire the UGC when they're not even part of the process of coming up with the idea? I want the person who had the idea, so that way that person can go pick the creator based off what they know from research and they vision. So that's why I do it like that. But yeah, and as far as like UGC and stuff, like we're not hiring UGC creators just to hire UGC creators. We hire creators with intention. So let's say, for example, in that scenario, we didn't have any female creators in very little clothing that were very attractive to film an ad for this particular client. Like we didn't have any of that on file, so we had to go pay for it. That's the time we go hire UGC. So we're not just hiring UGC to hire UGC. It's fucking retarded. So in this case right here, we're always hiring UGC with intention of, hey, we don't have that creator, or we never filmed an ad in this particular location. And that way we're making the most of our money when we're hiring for UGC. It also gives us a lot of assets we can use for further ads where, hey, we hire a creator, she goes, does this thing in this area. Now we can strip the voiceover, because all of our creators, they have to send this raw content. We refuse just to get regular content with captions. I make sure everything they send is this raw content so we can have unlimited use of that video and we don't have to keep hiring for new videos and stuff. So that's things my copywriters train for. We use Incense.pro for all of this. I like when I create campaigns on Incense.pro to hire creators, I always specifically like to say things like calling all couples, calling all women over 30. I like to hire and create campaigns to attract the types of people I want versus like, hey, card game product, or hey, new sports bra. Like I specifically want to call out the people I want to hire. And then for here, I love just giving them a hook and 3 key talking points. I just find I get a substantially better result with that. But also I pay $200 per video. I find that around the $200 price point has been giving me the best results for quality, for price, and for also to like back and forth revisions. I find that like I talk to advertisers that pay like $100 a video, or not even $100, like $50 a video. And they spend 2 weeks going back and forth with the creator for revision after revision after revision because they didn't get this exact thing they wanted. And it's like just hiring better creators and willing to like pay more just is giving us a substantially better result. So why the fuck would I cheap out? Also too, higher level creators, like they just know how to create content. So they just naturally give you a way better result. And they also just give you way better quality. So it's just all over. It's just been a solid win going for that $200 a video price tag. Yeah, stay away from those $50 to $100 videos. Stay away from those low level creators. Stay away from the creators with like no reviews. Review their Instagram or their TikTok and look at the content they already naturally produce and just ask yourself like, is that a video that I would be happy with? If no, do not hire them. Don't try to be a white knight and try to come save them and train them up, because you're not gonna fucking do it. I've never been able to do it. Don't even try. Hire creators that already create the content you want, and your life will just be substantially better. Your ads would be substantially better. Your performance will also be substantially better. Now, next thing, as far as like management and just keeping like UGC easy, I just go ahead and create a repeating task on my Google Calendar. I copy the campaign URL to where I literally just open up my Google Calendar. I click on this URL. I review. There's different stages. Like right when I launch a campaign, I'm filtering applicants. Then it's like the communication aspect of like shipping the product, making sure they got it. And then also to reviewing content they gave back. Like just little things. And if you don't have a constant reminder, it just can get backed up. So I just put it as a task, pop up my Google Calendar. It takes max 2 minutes a day to do. It's not long. And I just hit mark completed each day. I just have it as a recurring task. Makes things super easy for us. Another thing I love to do is that I have my copywriter consistently go ahead and keep rehiring the creator that we like. And I don't hire a ton of creators now. I more hire just a couple creators that all look different from each other, and then I keep rehiring the best performing one. And in instance, I can make these extra payments right here, and I'll just consistently keep making extra payments for more footage. So that way I don't have to go set up a new campaign, rehire that person, or even go like ship out other products to other creators. That's also something else that's been helping us a ton, make things a little bit easier. And like, I find that the more I work with a creator, the better the content gets, because now they're starting to get a hang of what we want. Now, other thing, once the copywriter receives the UGC video, usually the creator will send it via chat like this. Basically, the copywriter will go and take that video and send it off to my visual creator. And I have my visual creator do a couple different edits. Number one, they take that raw video with no captions, no voice, or no captions, no music, or any like edits on the screen, just besides the clips put together, and they add captions to it. They do another video where they duplicate the video 2 more times and just change the visual hook, and that's the video with captions already. And then they do 3 other videos where they just start the video at different time spots. So like if it's a 40-second video, they'll start it at 30 seconds, 25 or 20 seconds, and then 15 seconds, to where like the video is much shorter, and we're testing different lengths of that video right there. So where literally we're just cutting parts of the video off. That's it. And then we'll also add B-roll if it's needed on the video for all of them. It really just depends on the particular video. Whereas like, most of our creators, they give us B-roll already added on and stuff like that. But if I have just a 45-second video of a creator talking to the camera like this, like, fuck that. We gotta get that chopped up. So typically we have about 6 videos. One UGC video will give us 6 videos that we can launch. And then that also is a bunch of raw content that we can pull from for future videos we make for Facebook ads. So like maybe there's 1 2-second clip in that video we really like. We can put that in another video. So that's why it's really important to have a really good visual creator on your team that can kind of go through all that content. Now from here, the copywriter, once they approve that creative, I know we kind of just jumped ship here, but just kind of bring you guys back here for a second of how, my visual creator basically sends things to review over here. Once that copywriter reviews, we'll assign it to the media buyer, and the media buyer will go ahead and launch that. And then after it's done testing, basically, we'll just set a time for like 7 days after. Oh wait, also too, just to show you guys this right here. This is just inside the ad account. So now you can actually see those numbers. Again, look at those numbers. They're in Asana, they're in Frame, they're in Google Docs, they're in Google Sheets, and they're in the fucking ad account. Those numbers go everywhere with each concept. Now y'all can actually see one ad set per concept, kind of how that carries through. But then basically my media buyer will come back in and record that data in that Google Sheet right there. So that's the full cycle now, basically going through all of these steps. And once it's done, we do it all over again. I just want to show y'all something real quick. This account right here, we have number 264. So I always start off at 100. So that means we've created 164 batches for this particular client right here. That was over the last 12 months we've been working for this client. 164, it's about 3 concepts a week. A little over 3 a week. It comes out to like 3.1, 3.2, whatever. So that's anywhere between 3 to 12 creatives per batch. So just on a low end, we've created like over 409 creatives a week. So that's like 450. No, well, hold up. Let me do that math real quick. I can't math right now. 9 times, is it 52? Yeah, 52. So 468 creatives we tested over the last 12 months with this client. We have some clients I've been working with for 2 or 3 years now, and we test a little bit more than 3. This particular client right here, they just don't have a lot of content, so we typically only test about 3 a week. But there's some clients who test like 7, 8 a week, and we've been working with them for 2, 3 years now. Like we have clients that we created over 1,000 creatives with for this system right here. So yeah, we do this over and over and over again. This is where a lot of people bitch out because they do this process for 1 week and then quit because they didn't see results. Whereas us, we literally spend week after week after week repeating the system because we know it works, because we've done this for multiple different clients now, with a handful being able to scale to multiple 7 figures a month. Whereas a lot of you guys were like, oh fuck, we tested it, ad didn't get spin, I quit, fuck this. No, it's repeating system week over week over week for an extended period of time, and knowing that, hey, it's not the process, but it's the ideas we put in the ad account that scale things forward. So that's the key thing here. If while this thing is dialed in, and everything comes down to the ideas you give the system. So now with that being said, let's move into the day-to-day task of some of these positions around the system itself. So now we're gonna be diving into the day-to-day tasks. So we kind of know, the team, we know how to hire these people, we know the system of which they operate within. Now let's just kind of look a little bit more zoomed in now to each position of like the day-to-day tasks of what they're doing. So copywriter, obviously we're gonna start off with research. It's literally the most important thing for coming up with ideas, etc. So like literally research is a standalone task that's done every day. As they do the research, this is what nets ideas. So it's not like I want to force the ideas. I don't want to like sit down and be like, hey, I need 10 ideas today. I want to prioritize research, and I know if I hit a research session every day, it creates me ideas. So I kind of let the ideas flow as they come, but the research is more of the measurable KPI that I want done every day. And then here, any new like UGC and stuff like that, we already kind of talked about how we use like the Google Calendar right there to help out with UGC and stuff, but like that's a big one. And then obviously any creatives that the visual creator like sends over, they need to review and provide feedback and all that good stuff. Now, visual creator, very simple. You get creatives, you edit them and send them over. Like, that's it. Obviously, I could go into all kinds of like deeper dive stuff of like editing and stuff. That's just not my forte. This is where I just hire the right person. They take care of that for me. Now, from here, we got the media buyer, which the media buyer is going to log daily performance. I have a Google Sheet right here, which, to be fair, if you download the sheet below, that's one of the many sheets you get in this doc right here. And then they turn off any ads tank in the account. They scale budget by 20% if yesterday hit target, and they launch any new ads that's ready. So that's the media buyer's day-to-day actions. To be fair, like day-to-day is pretty chill, but they all collectively together work really well. Now here we have weekly goals, which starting off is going to be a lot more prioritized on the copywriter itself. I always like to have them kind of look at it from a creative outlook perspective of like the number of new ads I want in terms of new ideas, and then iterations, variations and stuff like that. So for me, I'm doing like 40% iterations on core messaging, and then I'm doing 40% variations on core messaging, which you'll just see right here. It's same design, just new visuals, variations. It's like new designs and new visuals all together, but it's still the same core messaging. Now, the last 20% is testing new messaging, where new messaging is just like new desires, new market awareness levels, new sophistication levels, new customer avatars right there. And then, yeah, based off of that, copywriter will be responsible for assigning those tasks to VC, as you kind of already know. For like iterations, for example, for the most part for iterations, I literally just say this: please create me 12 times new one, keeping same design idea plus messaging, but rest can be iterated on. So AKA keep same messaging, keep same design, just new visuals done right here. And then variations, I basically just say like new designs, new visuals, but the same messaging right there. There is times where I do iterations in the sense of like we reviewed a video or reviewed a photo and I want something very specific done. And like, I'll, say that in, this is just the assign and description right here. And I'll specifically say what I want done differently, if that's the case. But yeah, visual creator and media buyer, like they have one weekly goal, and that's just to stay on top of work. Like you already saw the day-to-day tasks. Like that's what I want them doing every day. So their goals is to hit that and complete that task every day. And if this hasn't been apparent already, if you've watched my YouTube channel now, and you should already know this, but this puts all of the responsibility on performance on the copywriter. This is why I don't really stress about performance to the media buyer or the visual creator, because they have no control, because all of the performance is purely dictated by the ideas copywriters get from research. This is why I prioritize research to generate us new ideas that we can then have the visual creator create, and then also to have the media buyer upload the account. So when you have to understand what position to go to stress about performance, because going to the media buyer stress about performance, and they have no role in performance. Where, I mean, you could dictate that a little bit, but like for the most part, it's all the ideas of creators who put in the accounts. Now, the biggest question, the question that everyone wants to know: how many creators should I test per week? To be very clear here, it's purely dependent on team size. I used to say 3 creatives a week, 6 creatives a week. I completely threw that out of the window. I don't pay attention to that anymore. There's some accounts, we tested 300 creatives for one account a couple weeks ago. There's other accounts we've tested 6 last week. It purely depends on team size, and it also depends on where you're at in the sense of brand new account, we're coming up with ideas, or we're scaling this account, we have winning ideas we can iterate and variate on. It purely just depends on that, and it purely depends on team size. I have a client with 10 plus people on their team, and they can easily produce 100 quality creatives a week. I have students that are a one-man show. They customer service, they talk to the manufacturer, they, built their whole Shopify website, they do the editing, they do the copywriting, they even go and bring the product to the post office to ship after their 9 to 5. They can only produce maybe 2, 3, 4 quality creatives a week, and that's still perfectly fine, because I prioritize quality over quantity. It's a big one right here. I could go test 1,000 creatives a week on one angle, and it'd be the angle that does not work at all and never net any new winning ads. But I could prioritize quality. And now quality for me, it's not, HD super professional production versus iPhone. Quality for me is that you had intention behind that creative. Like, you specifically noticed something from research or noticed something from the ad account. You took a educated hypothesis based off of that. You intentionally went create the creative to fit that hypothesis. You tested that in the account. You got data back, and then that data dictated your next position. This is your feedback loop. In that sense right there, that is what I prioritized over quantity. I don't like, quantity over quality, because when I see quantity over quality, everyone I talk to is fucking retarded about this, where they just go throw hundreds of creatives at the accounts with no direction, and they are sitting there stressed out, freaking out, because they have no idea why nothing's working. And then I'm like, well, tell me about the recent creatives. I'm like, I don't even know what I tested, because you know what? You're not tapped in. When you're not tapped in, you have no clue what's not working. You have no clue why it's not working. You have no clue on what your audience wants. You're just sitting there fucking throwing things at a wall, hoping something sticks. And then you're like, well, Nick, I tested creatives and it didn't work. Well, yeah, because you're fucking retarded about it. You didn't do it properly. Prioritize quality over quantity. It'll make a drastic difference in your hit rate, and overall, drastic difference in quality of life you'll live, because you'll find more winning ads, allowing you to scale and absolutely make some internet money right there. So that's why for me, I prioritize quality over quantity. Everyone will have a different opinion on it. I'm very quality over quantity. And your team size will dictate how many quality creatives you can make a week. And your team size will be dictated by how much money you have. I know people literally starting off with $100 a day budget, testing 50, 60 creatives a week, because they're multi-millionaires. No, let me rephrase that. They have multiple millions in the bank, and they're willing to throw 50, 60K at a team month one. even though that's a complete loss. I also know people who are one-man shows with maybe $1,000 in their checking account, and that's all they have, and they can only do 3 or 4 quality creatives a week. Neither one is wrong. Just don't be the person that throws hundreds of creatives at the account with no intention, no hypothesis, and no even clue why you're testing it. Because that person right there is the person that, like, just literally, like I said, when things are not working, they have no clue why. When things are working, they have no clue why. They'll be like, oh, it's because I'm doing a CBO campaign. It's like, dude, this literally has nothing to do with why your account's working right now. So yeah, quality over quantity. That's what I'm prioritizing. Now, next thing, communication. This will be the last thing we'll wrap up with real quick. Very straightforward. Copywriter basically is going to provide just very direct updates in Slack. When I say direct updates, hey, I did research, came up with this idea based off research. That's what I'm executing on now to write. Boom. I don't want to, hey, how are you? Hope you're having a good day today. Here's my idea. Here's what I'm going to be working on today. Blah, 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 blah. Have a good day. The reason why I don't want that is because it basically pushes you away from doing the communication when you feel like it has to be this long, thought out, well-responded email or something like that. It's Slack, it's text messaging, very direct, very quick ideas. Hey, I just hired this UGC creator based off research. Our audience loves women who are barely leading clothes. I'm gonna film an ad with this. That's what's being done. Done. Move on. Visual creator, hey, batch whatever number creatives are ready or done. Here's the link. Media buyer, ads 102, 103, and 104 just launched. Budget adjusted by 20% or increased budget by 20%. Hey, new winning ad found. Copy the URL. Boom. Very direct, almost emotionalist communication. Why? Because now you're incentivized because of how easy it is. As humans, we're de-incentivized to put out a lot of energy and effort. We naturally want to retain energy and not put out effort. So if we make it simple and direct, it actually incentivizes communication because of how easy it is. And the only thing we did was just strip all that fat off of it and just giving the meat. That's the key thing there. Weekly team calls. I used to do these. To be fair, I don't do these anymore. I still think they're good, but just being very direct. I just hate calls, to be fair. I'm kind of like Alex Becker. I prioritize communication, clean and effective communication over text. I already do, basically 15 hours a week of calls between sales calls with brands doing over 100K a month to run their ads, and then just like one-on-ones with students and stuff like that. So I just personally don't care if it's like any more calls, nor do I have the time for like a 90-minute call. But to be fair, when we were doing these, team loved it, helped out with culture and stuff like that. That is probably the one thing that I felt like since I removed it, kind of created a little bit of division in the business and stuff like that. So like y'all are actively getting feedback from me based off of a decision I made and kind of how it created a little bit of negativity to it. So this will be something I will be bringing back soon. Not sure when, but since we're kind of approaching Q4, probably around Q4 right there. But yeah, we just did them Mondays. When we did our team calls, we do it Mondays, roughly 90 minutes long. I think we got as long as 2 hours one time or 3 hours one point, but just found 90 minutes was kind of like that sweet spot right there. 1 hour is pretty good too, but we just kind of felt like with 1 hour, we kind of had to roll a little bit faster than we wanted. But weekly team calls, beginning of the week, we'll kind of review performance together. Keep in mind, we're an agency, so like I'm reviewing a couple different ad accounts. Whereas like if you're just a not one-man show, like, you're just working with your like your own brand and stuff like that, you wouldn't technically need this. With like multiple accounts, you would just have your one. But just review performance together, kind of, hey, here's where we're at right now. Here's what we need to hit. So here's what we're trying to solve for right now. We'll review some of the recent ads that were created by the team and stuff like that. And the reason why we review those recent ads, just kind of see like, hey, what's being put out there? It's kind of some feedback and stuff. What can we do differently? Things like that. And then just like any like random team management stuff, like, payroll and just like office hours, just like, business type stuff like housekeeping, stuff like that. So team calls, like I said, we typically do them Mondays at 1 p.m. Central Time, just because like that was just the best time for everyone. But you know, to be fair, like whatever works best for your team. And I would say no longer than 90 minutes. I feel like after 90 minutes, people start checking out and stuff like that. So, and also too, another thing we really like doing is at the beginning of the call, just kind of going over some wins right there. We did a business win and a personal win. And I think the team really liked that a lot. And I say a business win, like, hey, you know, I've been working hard. I'm trying to find a winning ad for this account. Boom, we found it. It's crushing now. And a personal win literally could just be like, hey, I went to Miami this past weekend, had a great time, or, you know, pretty much literally whatever you're excited to talk about from a personal perspective. So, but yeah, that's weekly team calls. Now, additionally, also like doing weekly one-on-one calls. This will be a short 15-minute to 30-minute call. And basically this call is just to kind of like give them aid on like what specifically they're struggling with right now. So like if I have a copywriter that's struggling with cracking an ad for this account, you know, let's go review that account together. Let's kind of review some of their research and try to see like, okay, hey, what new ideas we can come up with together right there. And it's like a 30-minute block we can work together on. Or like literally it just might be where like a team member's just struggling personally, where like you just have some personal stuff they need to talk through, and like literally just sitting there and almost being like their therapist. This is just a way to where one-on-one, we have 30 minutes together. We can, and my goal is to give you everything you need to succeed. That's my goal in that 30 minutes. But yeah, so that's the weekly one-on-one call. And, you know, again, just with whatever team member, you just set your different time frames, whatever works best for each team member. Now, just a quick recap real quick for everything we covered today. Went over team structure, went over hiring, went over the exact system we leverage to produce new creatives every week. And just like, hey, if you're struggling right now with your current team systems, if you watch this video, you're like, holy fuck, I need a way better system. Or you have team members that are underperforming and you're like, yo, I need to invest in their education a little bit more. Or just maybe yourself, you're like, hey, like, Nick, this is fucking amazing. I love this. How can I like get further, more information on this video? Well, I want to invite you to the Inner Circle. It's a mentorship program that I do that's one-on-one plus group. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that. Basically, we hop on one-on-one calls together to basically overcome any roadblocks that's preventing you from scaling currently right now with Facebook ads. And then additionally, I give you on-demand support throughout the week with any questions you have I have a group chat with other members, and then also do a group call each week where I can review your ad creatives, your ad accounts, any other random questions you have. I do a lot of like trainings in that group chat where people are like, hey, Nick, can you provide a deeper training on this? And I'll just go and film that training and drop into the group for people right there. So I do a lot of trainings that y'all just simply never will see on YouTube and stuff because I keep it private to that group right there. I also like have a full library of SOPs you can deploy in your business just like this to help out with improving performance and building out your team and stuff like that. And again, I actively update that too as new things come out. Like I literally just refilmed all of chapter 2 on market research, right? They're like 3.5-hour training on market research. So this is the Inner Circle, ideally for people doing at least the very, very, very bare minimum of $10,000 a month in revenue. For Shopify store owners, also agency owners as well. I have a set of active e-com clients. This is not for beginners at all. This is very like, I would say borderline intermediate to advanced right here. Literally the active or average person in the group is spending over $2,000 a day profitably on Facebook ads. We have a couple 7-figure a month earners. Good, very good majority, 6-figure a month Shopify stores in there. That's Shopify stores doing over $100,000 a month. And then probably like the other half is like people doing like, you know, anywhere between $500 to $1,000 a day in revenue right there. So if you want to learn more about the Inner Circle, all those good things right there, click the link below and I would basically help you get in the program and stuff like that. But yeah, with that being said, if y'all enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.